Till now we have discussed the root locus for positive values of k. Okay. Now we will also discuss the trajectory of roots for negative values of k. Okay. So both of these, they form the root locus only, but for the sake of differentiation we will call this as the root locus and we will call this as the complementary root locus, that is CRL. Okay. So now we will be constructing the root locus for values of k varying from -infinity to +infinity. Okay. So previously, before we discussed the construction of the root locus, we saw two conditions. What was the conditions? One was the condition of magnitude. Okay, so this is just for revision. The mod of g1 of s into h1 of s is equal to 1 by mod k. Right? This was the condition on magnitude. And the condition of angle was that the angle of g1 of s into h1 of s is equal to 2i plus 1, that is odd multiple of pi or 180 degrees. So this is for the positive values of k. It is the root locus. Okay. But for the negative values of k, it will be even multiples of pi. Okay. So this is for the complementary root locus. Whatever construction of the root locus will depend on these conditions. Okay. But we will not discuss the proofs, we will just see how to construct. Okay. So here we will take an example. S into s plus 1 into s plus 5 plus k into s plus 3 is equal to 0. This is the given characteristic equation of a control system. Okay. And now we have to find out the root locus for k varying from -infinity to +infinity. Okay. So what is the first step? We first have to find out g1 of s into h1 of s. That means we have to represent in this form. We have to represent the characteristic equation in this form. Okay. So this will be 1 plus k into s plus 3 divided by s into s plus 1 into s plus 5, okay, is equal to 0. Right. So what will be g1 of s, h1 of s? This part will be g1 of s, h1 of s. Okay. So what are the poles here? The poles of g1 of s, h1 of s are lying on 0, -1 and -5. And the zeros, there is 1 0 at -3. Okay. Now what is the order of this characteristic equation? The order of the characteristic equation is 3. Okay. And what is the number of poles? Number of poles is 3. Number of zeros is 1. Okay. So this is the initial information that you will have to obtain before constructing the root locus. Okay. See, the construction of the RL or the CRL, it will be very similar. Okay. Only some changes will be there. Okay. Now, this is the S plane. Okay. So here also first you will mark the poles and zeros. Okay. So you have one pole at 0. You have one pole at -5. You have one 0 at -3 and one pole at -5. Till here it is same as the root locus. This is the preliminary things. Okay. Now we have to find out the root locus lying on the real axis. Okay. So for the root locus, we have, this is root locus plus the complementary root locus. Okay. For the positive values of k, what did we do? We chose that portion of the real axis to the right of which there are odd number of poles. Okay. What happens for the CRL? We have to choose that portion of the real axis where to the right of which you have even number of poles plus zeros. Okay. So if you mark the CRL on the S plane, So one CRL will be beyond minus 5. Okay, because to the right you have 3 poles at minus 5, minus 1 and 0 and 1 0. Total 4. Okay, 4 is an even number. Okay, between minus 3 and minus 1 you will have another branch of the CRL. Okay, because to the right you have 2 number of poles. There will be another branch here. Okay, to the right of which there are 0 number of poles or zeros. Okay, since there are no poles or zeros, you will have the root locus at the positive real axis also. Okay, so these are the complementary root locus branches that are lying on the real axis. Okay, so but now we are drawing the root locus, the trajectory of roots for k varying from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, so we are drawing the RL also along with the CRL. Okay, so where will the RL lie? The RL it will lie here. Okay, between 0 and minus 1 you will have RL, and between minus 5 and minus 3 you will have RL. Okay, now next is the direction of the branches. What will happen for the RL? The RL branches, they start from the poles and end at the zeros. So for RL you can draw the branch like this, direction of branch. Okay, now what will happen to the CRL? So the magnitude of K, we have seen that it is equal to 0 at poles, right? Now what is happening for the RL? Here the K is varying from 0 to plus infinity. Okay, so 0 to plus infinity will be the direction of branch. So the direction of branch will be from the poles. It will start at the poles. But what is happening for the complementary root locus? This is varying from minus infinity to 0. Okay, that means the direction is ending, the branch is ending at K is equal to 0, which is the poles. For a complementary root locus, the branch will end at the poles. So for this branch, the direction will be towards the 0, towards the pole. For this CRL, the direction will be like this, from minus 3 to minus 1. Okay, and for this CRL, the direction will be towards minus 5. This is the portion of the root locus that is lying on the real axis. Okay, so next we will move on to the asymptotes. Now for asymptotes, you will have, for the CRL you will have mod n minus m, and for the RL you will have mod n minus m. Okay, so total number of asymptotes for CRL plus RL will be 2n minus m. Okay, so in this example we have 3 number of poles and 1 number of 0. Okay, so 2 into mod of n minus m will be 4. Okay, 2 of them for CRL and 2 for the root locus. Okay, next, what is the centroid of these asymptotes? The centroid will be the same thing. It will be the poles minus zeros, sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by mod n minus m. Okay, so here the poles are 0, minus 1, minus 5, minus of 0 is minus 3 divided by mod n minus m, which is 2. So this will be minus 3 by 2. Okay, centroid, there will be no difference. So this is the number of asymptotes. This is the centroid. Next we have the angle. Okay, so we saw that for the CRL, the condition of angle is that it should be angle of G1 of S, H1S should be equal to even multiple of 180 degrees. Okay, so for RL, we have seen that this will be 2i plus 1 divided by mod m minus m into 180 degrees. For the CRL, because of the condition of angle, okay, you will get 2i by mod n minus m into 180 degrees. Okay, So how will I vary? I will vary from 0 to mod n minus m minus 1. Okay, so this is the angle of asymptotes. In our example, if you calculate this angle for the root locus, you will get 90 degrees and 270 degrees. Okay, and for the CRL, you will get 0 degrees and 180 degrees. This is for different values of I. Okay, so now we have the number of asymptotes. Now we have the centroid and also the angle of asymptotes. So the asymptotes, they will be converging at minus 3 by 2. Okay. For the CRL, what are the asymptotes? They are 0 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay. So one will be lying like this. This is 0 degrees and this is 180 degrees. Okay. So this is asymptote 1 and this is asymptote 2 for the CRL. Okay. What will happen to the asymptotes of RL? They will be at 90 degrees and one is at 270 degrees or minus 90 degrees. Okay. So this is for CRL. Okay, and for RL, this is one asymptote and this is the second asymptote. So totally we have 4 asymptotes. Okay, all of them converging at minus 3 by 2. That is the centroid. Next we will go ahead with the breakaway points. So the breakaway point procedure is also same as the root locus whatever we have discussed. We have to find out the solutions of dk by ds is equal to 0. Okay, and whatever solutions you are getting, you have to verify whether they are lying on the complementary root locus or the root locus. Okay, so that is how you find out the breakaway points. Okay, so for this equation, if you find out dk by ds, I will not be doing the entire calculation, but you will get the equations as is equal to minus 0.522 and minus 3.488 plus or minus j 1.47. Okay, so this minus 0.522, it will lie on the root locus, that is positive values of k. Okay, and the other points, they will neither lie on the RL nor on the CRL. Okay, so the root locus has one breakaway point, but the CRL does not have any breakaway point for this example. Okay, so since there are no breakaway points for the CRL, the construction of the CRL is completed already. Okay, so it will lie only on the real axis. It only has 3 branches. The root locus part you can complete easily. In fact, this is the same example that we discussed previously also. So the breakaway point will lie between 0 and minus 1. Okay, and from here the breakaway angle will be 90 degrees because there are 2 branches approaching the breakaway point. Okay, so the breakaway angle will be like this, and then it will follow the asymptotes. So the asymptotes will be like this, right, for the RL. So the root locus will be lying like this. Okay, so this is the RL, this is the RL. Okay, so this is the complete construction of the root locus plus the complementary root locus. So for the example that we have considered, the entire construction of the root locus and the complementary root locus is complete. Okay, so this is for k varying from minus infinity to plus infinity. Next, what is left to discuss in the construction of root locus? Angle of departure or angle of arrival. Okay, so what happened with the root locus where the k is positive? Okay, the angle of departure, it was corresponding with the poles. Okay, and the angle of arrival was corresponding with the zeros. Why? Because for the positive values of k, the root locus direction will be from pole to 0. Okay, so at the pole the root locus will depart and at 0 it will arrive. What is the case for CRL? That is for negative values of k. The end point will be at the pole. because k is varying from minus infinity to 0. So it will be ending at pole. So the angle of departure, it will correspond to the 0. Okay, and the angle of arrival will correspond to the pole. Okay, because it is ending at the pole. Now what is this angle of departure expression? This will be phi d is equal to 180 minus phi. Okay, so what is phi? It is the angle contribution, the net angle contribution at that 0 from all other open loop poles and zeros, right? And what about the angle of arrival? This will be phi a. So this will be equal to 180 degrees plus phi. So phi is the same thing here. It is the net angle contribution at that particular pole, wherever you are finding the angle of arrival. Okay, at that particular pole from all other open loop poles and zeros. Okay, so this is the angle of departure and the angle of arrival. Okay, next what is left out? The last and final thing is the intersection with j omega axis. Okay, so this also, just like the root locus positive values of k that we have discussed, we have to find out the intersection using the RH criterion.